Welcome to Hot Garbage.
Hello and welcome to Hot Garbage, where we are the only trash talk that matters. I'm your host, Laura, because I keep forgetting that we say that now.
Have you not been saying it?
No, I started saying it and then I stopped saying it, and now I'm gonna be back to saying it because I should continue to say it. I'm just a fucking idiot.
You're also sick, so you know.
I was sick. I was very sick. And also I went away for a week. That kind of threw me off.
Yeah, it
I
happens.
don't even notice when it happens and when it doesn't happen. Also, like in the outro, I don't notice when she misses something. I'm just like, yeah.
Stephanie's here for vibes.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, this week I want to let you guys know that if you're listening and not watching on YouTube, Stephanie's background is Marnie at her wedding with that face of makeup.
Beautiful.
Makeup
It's
by
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's great. It's a little heavy.
It's a little Is it
A little bit.
heavy?
A little heavy. Okay. So anyway, before we get into girls, because that's what we're talking about, we're talking about 4 and 5, season 4 and 5, which are, I think, where most of the story lies.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Before we get into that, it's motherfucking share time. I am in a panic because I didn't have a share time when we started recording, and I realized I didn't have a share time, and I was like, what the fuck have I been doing? What have I been doing?
Work.
Like schoolwork, like going to work, doing this shit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck, right? So during my schoolwork, I have to watch things, and I've been having a hard time finding things since Grey's Anatomy ended with all over 400 episodes that I watched. And so
Still.
I probably watched all 400 because I was doing it during my schoolwork, and I just had the time.
Mhm.
I had the endless hours.
Just constantly going.
Right. So I have been trying to find a show, and it has been a terrible, terrible time trying to find a show. I have now basically gone through 6 or 7 shows with 4 seasons. I've exited some of them.
Just hard eject.
Yeah. Some of them I barely pay attention to. I went through 3 seasons of a show, but they only had 12 episodes, I think. And I didn't really watch it, but it was okay. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Not even the name.
Oh yeah, what was it? It's a Canadian show.
Was it Louder Milk?
No.
Okay.
No.
'Cause
Not
I was gonna suggest
Degrassi.
that.
No, it wasn't Degrassi. I'd know Degrassi. I'd be out here talking about Wheelchair Jimmy. I'm sorry, but that's your identifier, dog.
Yeah.
Fuck Drake. It's fucking Wheelchair Jimmy. Anyway. I digress. What was it? Erica something. Being Erica. That's what it was.
Oh, is it the one where the girl has cancer? Thinks she has cancer or something?
No.
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 Never mind. It's a free
No,
porn
it
show
was
though, right?
she started this therapy, and it sent her back in time. And she relived her regrets. That's basically the premise of the show, to be honest with you. That pretty much sums it up.
Okay.
So it was okay. It was okay. Wouldn't watch again. But then I started watching CW shows like Candy, because I'm like, this will work out. That hasn't really worked out. I watched Heart of Dixie, and I actually finished that one. I went through all 4 seasons of it because I actually didn't hate the characters, but man, there was country music everywhere. It was
Yeah.
in a place called Bluebell, Alabama, and it was some shit. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it. Um,
To watch it.
yeah, it was like not great. Not much happens.
Hmm.
Um, like stuff happens, but not much happens.
Okay.
That was one my parents were watching for a while, so I was like, eh.
Oh, okay. So like literally like that's how I want to explain it. Like things happen, but like nobody really progressed. Nothing actually really happened. Everybody was just there dating each other.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. Like
How many seasons did you say it had? 4?
4.
And
And it was
nothing
like 22
happens.
episodes a season.
Jesus Christ.
And the last season was like 10 episodes. And I was like, "Phew, every season should have been 10 episodes."
I tried watching it. I watched the first episode, and I don't know why. I don't want to watch the second. Like, I just
Yeah.
didn't feel like it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can say that the pilot like really doesn't do the show any good because I almost
Okay.
gave up after the pilot because I was like,
Mhm.
this is corny and stupid and I'm not staying.
Sounds like the
And so
show
I
doesn't do the show any justice.
yeah, so I stayed and moved along, and I would say I didn't really like anything too much. I liked
Mhm.
the characters. Like that's why I finished it. Because they were kind of cool because they were like a bunch of like backwood fucking people from fucking Alabama.
Mhm.
Um, so that was like it was kind of funny.
People that I hear talk about that show, they like die hard love it. And like I have not met anyone like me other than like now you guys
Yeah.
that are just like I just no, I love Rachel Bilson. That's the Rachel
I
Bilson
love
one,
Rachel
right?
Bilson.
Yeah.
And
But
I like Scott Porter, who's George. He's also in
oh
Friday
yeah.
Night. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like Scott Porter, so that's why else I was watching it. Um, and the dude Levon Hayes, he ends up being Black Lightning for the CW, and I love Black Lightning. Black Lightning was so good. Okay, I'm not like big on superheroes, but like Black Lightning was like really good. I watched somebody get their spine ripped out, and
Oh,
that will
hell
stay
yeah.
with me forever.
Love that.
And it was a CW show that will forever haunt me
Like was
about
it gory?
watching his spine get ripped out. Oh my god.
I need to check this out now.
I know. I never
Oh my god, there's like how his spine gets like oh my god, like the whole spine saga will stay with
Spine
me to be
saga.
honest with you because like like how it happens, he then gets a bionic spine and then that spine gets ripped out and like he's just like left with like an open hole in his back on the ground breathing and it'll stay with me forever. It'll stay with me forever.
I love the idea of a bionic spine.
Yeah, it was awesome. Honestly, I really enjoyed Black Lightning. The last season of Black Lightning, fucking weird. Ignore it. Because the show's really good. And then, I don't know, the 4th season didn't hit with me. And I think it was because the one daughter got like recast,
Yeah.
but she wasn't recast. It's weird. And I think
Okay.
that's where like they lost me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like she goes off into space and like blows up sort of. And they put her back together and it's a different person.
Okay.
And then turns out there's a bunch of other stuff that happens, but I'm not into it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense if they got like blown to fucking pieces, but
It was pieces.
yeah, I don't
Like
know.
little
It's
like
still
atoms
a
actually.
weird move.
Yeah, very weird move. So like the last season's like very weird, but up until then I fucking love this shit. This shit is good. And so he's Black Lightning. So it was really like I was really excited to see him as like this on Heart of Dixie. So I think that's probably another reason why I probably stuck around.
Nice.
So now I have moved on to like shows around like the time of Buffy. Okay, because Buffy is it's been my favorite show since I was 9, so maybe I should like live in that era a little bit, right? So I went, and I'm not as far back as that, but I went to like, like early WB and like CW era, like that time period, like One Tree Hill. But I've seen One Tree Hill like 100 times. Like I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into watching it right now. Like that whole thing, like the OC, like that's another time, like
Oh
that
my
whole
god, I
time
love
frame.
the OC.
Right, me too. So like that whole time frame, Rachel Bilson. We love Rachel
Mhm.
Bilson. So that whole time frame. So right now I'm trying Friday Night Lights again. I have tried to watch Friday Night Lights probably like 4 or 5 times in my life.
I've never tried.
Yeah. Neither have I.
I make it to the first episode, get through the first episode, hard eject. So I have seen the first episode of Friday Night Lights like 4 or 5 times in my life because I've really tried to watch this show because it
Mhm.
feels like it's up my alley. All right.
People love it.
Right. And people love it. So I try and I can't hard eject. Right. So this time around, I decided I have seen the first episode 4 or 5 times. I know what fucking happens. I haven't seen it in a couple years, but I know what fucking happens. So I ended up starting from episode 2 this time. And so now I'm on episode like 13 of season 1. Which is as far as I've ever made it. And so cuz I think one time I made it like episode like 2 or 3 cuz some of the stuff that happened in 2 or 3 like looked familiar. So I think I like made it a little bit one
Yeah.
of the attempts. Um Probably cuz I hard ejected so many times. I was like I have to like fucking do this. So I've now made it as far as I've ever made it, and I'm gonna stick with it because I really like Scott Porter again.
Is it
Um,
getting more interesting?
yes, and I really like his storyline because I'm just gonna spoil the first episode. I don't give a fuck. He is playing. He's like the star quarterback. Like he's gonna get recruited by like I don't fucking remember, but like Bama, like that type of quarterback, right? Like he's getting recruited by Bama. And he like something happens and he gets pissed off and he ends up like tackling a guy after the play. And when he does it, like he tackles him wrong and he ends up snapping his spine.
You're
So
on a
the
real
guy is
spine
like,
kick.
And you're
right.
right.
Man, put something about the spine in it. And I'm like, neurology, I'm in. Fuck. I must have been like a neurologist in another life.
Love that for you.
Yeah, definitely. Um so anyway, so he basically like paralyzed from the waist down. And they said something like if this like the spine like the spinal column like right above it snapped, he like wouldn't have had use of his arms either. So like yeah. So his girlfriend, who is played by Minka Kelly, who is the most beautiful human being that's ever
I love
graced
Minka
the
Kelly.
presence of this earth.
I love her.
I love Minka Kelly. She's in it, and she's his girlfriend, and she's still like, I don't know if I think they just broke up, like for real, for real. And so she started having sex with his best friend, who's played by Taylor Knish. I think that's how you say his last name.
So
Kurdish.
familiar. Taylor. Okay.
Kiddish. Kitsch is how you spell it. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Say
Tyler?
something that he's in. He's in like Prometheus or something like that.
He's in Battleship, Savages, John Carter.
John Carter. He was John Carter and John Carter, I think.
He's in Tucker Must Die.
Yes, he isn't John Tucker Must Die. He's just like a side thing, though.
Mhm. The Covenant,
The Covenant.
Snakes on a
Kitsch.
Plane.
Yeah, Kitsch. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I would think that'd be like Kitsch or something like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, but he's in it. And he plays like a running back, I think. I don't know what that fuck that means, to be honest with you. I have just started watching football. Actually, I started watching football because my boyfriend's obsessed with it. He's a huge Chargers fan. I got him for Christmas this like little figurine of Justin Herbert. And it's like this little 6-inch Herbert like collectible thing. And because Justin Herbert's his like favorite, like he loves him. So I got him like this little like thing, and it comes with like a little helmet that's like attachable. You can put the helmet on and off. It's like a little extra helmet, and it is so cute. It is so cute. Anyway, I saw it and I was like, I have to get this. I have to. So I started watching football a couple seasons ago because of him, and I can't find a team that I wanted to root for. Like, I don't like any of them. Like, I could find a reason to hate all of them. So I kept trying to like the Cardinals because St. Louis Cardinals behind me. But that little fucking twerp Kyler Murray is their quarterback, and I just fucking hate the guy. I just hate him. Hate everything about him.
Is
So
that
I couldn't
the
do it.
tall one with the long hair and the long face?
No.
No.
It's like half the NFL.
But that's not what he looks like. So
There's one that plays for Tennessee, and every time I see him, I'm just like, ugh, I don't know why. You're just annoying to me, and I don't even know who you are.
yeah. And so Taylor Swift is now dating Travis Kelce. So now I'm a Chiefs fan.
You're one of those Swifties, huh?
100%. 1000%. I have no fucking problem saying it. I am secure enough in myself that I can say that I am a Chiefs fan because Taylor Swift is here. I'll stay a Chiefs fan. Like, I'm here now. You know what I mean? Like, even if like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift break up, which I don't think is going to happen, but that's another story. I will still be a Chiefs fan. Okay. Like, I also they're Kansas City. So a lot of St. Louis Cardinal fans are Chiefs fans. So I'm just here now.
Okay.
Okay. I came up with reasons. Anyway.
Proud of you.
So anyway, so I've been watching Friday Night Lights. I don't think I have an accurate opinion yet because it's just season 1, and I don't like to base things off of season 1 because like think about The Office season 1. Terrible.
Yeah, really bad.
I mean, it was rough.
It's not terrible. Like, I've seen worse season 1s. Like Buffy season 1 is worse than that. Buffy season 1, Buffy season 1 does more harm than good. Like, when you start watching Buffy and you're sitting there and you're watching season 1 and you're seeing like the praying mantis monster and you're seeing that fucking robot.
I think it's so funny.
And that's how you have to go into it. You have to go, this was a 90s show with exactly 0 budget. It was on the fucking WB. And that's why the robot looks like that. That's why.
Is it just like really bad CGI and stuff?
Oh no, it's no CGI. It's a person in a costume.
Oh, okay. So it's like a Power Rangers episode.
The praying mantis monster. I would honestly say that the praying mantis monster is either a person in a costume or an animatronic of some sort. Like, we're going straight realistic here. Like, look up praying mantis monster Buffy and you'll see it. And how it moves, it goes like this. That's how it moves. I'm not kidding. It moves just like this. And in a rhythm.
It's like a Beetleborg.
Right. Go look up the robot. It's I Robot Eugene. Yeah, I'm that big of a Buffy fan that I know the fucking episode's name.
God damn. You can keep going. I'll enjoy this.
Okay.
Off mic.
Okay, so that's a person in a costume for sure. So anyway, so I give things season 1, so I don't have an opinion about Friday Night Lights, but that's what I'm watching. I made it far. We're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep like going for CW WB shows. Like, maybe I'll go like Dawson's Creek a little bit. Maybe I'll go like Felicity.
I always wanted to watch Felicity. I've never seen it.
I mean, neither have I. See, so like maybe I'll go for like Felicity. Like, it's on Hulu, I think. Like, maybe I'll go for Felicity. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Like, maybe I'll go for that.
Yes. Oh my god, so funny. So
I'll watch
good
that as an adult. I watched Sister as an adult, and that changed a lot.
Oh my gosh. I've seen some episodes. I haven't like
Sister as an adult is a completely different show.
Sometimes
especially when they get older.
I watch it to go to sleep sometimes, but the song wakes me up every episode.
Oh, it's so sister.
Oh yeah, this is bad.
I'm totally. Yeah, you see it?
Yeah, what I saw was the robot at first. I didn't see
the
actual,
robot.
like, yeah, this is Ooh, rough.
Tell me that's not a person in a costume.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So season 1 Buffy's really bad. It gets better. The vampire faces don't start looking good until like season 4. Think about the Buffy faces, like the vampire faces, Stephanie, like think about it. Think about when like they look okay. Like it's like season 4.
Let me see. Evolution.
So yeah, if you guys have any like
Mm-hmm.
suggestions for yeah, you see it. Like they don't start getting good until like season 4. Like they're pretty shitty. Leave us alone.
Oh my gosh, I forgot how bad they were, honestly. And I
Yeah,
was
they were
just
really
watching
bad.
season 1 not too long ago.
Mm-hmm. If you watch it like I do, like falling asleep, waking up, getting ready, doing anything, honestly, Buffy's in the background most of the time. Like the only reason I don't have Buffy in the background while I'm doing homework is probably because it'll put me to sleep. Like yeah, maybe that'll be my motherfucking share time next week. I'll talk about Buffy. I'll figure out something to talk about with Buffy. Like
There's
maybe
so
I'll like
much.
let you guys know like how big of an obsession I have. If the Roman Empire last week didn't do it,
I feel like they know.
yeah.
They
It's been
do.
brought up several times.
It's brought up almost every single episode just because.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my motherfucking share time. If you all have like old WB shows that you like fucking loved that I can find on streaming somewhere, tell me.
I'll think of something.
Yeah.
Reba was on WB.
I
Reba
was
a good
I
show.
looked at Reba. I looked at Reba. I did.
I watch Reba as well to go to bed. Like if I have 30 minutes, sometimes I'll just like turn on Reba or Sabrina and like
So the
you
Big
know.
Brother community like ruined that for me because I saw a video, I think I sent it to you guys, of Suri holding Izzy and
Yes.
Jared,
Yeah.
and it had the Reba theme song in the back. And so like every time I hear like a single mom who works too hard, I think of that video, and so it's quite literally like ruined.
I forgot about that video.
That was amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's my motherfucking share time. Stephanie, what do you got?
Oh, I was gonna say my share time this week is about returning back to Vanderpump because I love it. The Valley, which stars Jax Taylor, right? And Kristen, I don't even know Kristen's last name. What's Kristen's last name?
Dodie.
Dodie, yeah. Duh.
How could you not remember Dodie?
I don't know. I forgot her name for a second. Okay. So, The Valley's coming out, and I just wanted to talk about it a little. There's not like it was just like a teaser kind of introducing the cast and stuff. I just had a couple things I wanted to say. Jax and Brittany look fucking terrible. They look awful. Like, who is their plastic surgeon? Like, we need to get them help.
No,
They
they're
look,
the reason that you let Botox wear out before you go
Yeah.
get Botox again.
oh my god. Jax, like as soon as the like preview started, I was like, oh my god, like oh my that looks scary. And then Brittany going, clean up or whatever. Like her face looked so different from what it used to look like. Like her eyebrows are
It
all the
probably
way
is
up
different.
here. It
Yeah.
is completely different. She was a pretty girl, and I'm like so sad that she like her and Jax was Jax. Like he always looks weird, but Brittany was actually. I thought Brittany was pretty when she first came on the show with like, and before she started getting plastic surgery and stuff. Like this is an example of like too much plastic surgery, and it's scary.
Yeah.
So
We're
the
gonna
show,
say that out loud to hopefully help them
yes,
because their
guys,
friends clearly aren't helping.
Jax is gonna block us like as soon as he hears this.
What
But
number
it's
So we're
nose
gonna
do
be
you
like,
think he's on?
cool. We're gonna be like, awesome,
I
guys.
know.
We're blocked
We got
by
blocked by
Jax
Jax.
Taylor. That's how far we made it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that day to happen. He looks like
Oh.
a freaking dummy, like the ones that
Yeah,
what's
the
it called? Like,
ventriloquist dummy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, he looks like that. He looks so scary. Oh my gosh. So him and Brittany are on this show and with Kristen and a bunch of random people. I have no idea who they are. So I'm only gonna talk. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Jasmine Good from Nick Viall's season's gonna be in it.
Oh,
Yeah, I just found that out.
Jasmine. Like I'm thinking of like who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the one didn't she call herself like the Queen of Paradise? She was
Yeah,
really close to
yeah.
Olympus Waters. Yeah, her. She's gonna be on it apparently, but she doesn't have a significant other, so I guess they cropped her out of the trailer or the super tease, whatever.
Where was this?
This is on Bravo.
Yeah, but like, where was this teaser? Like, how does everybody get this teaser?
It's the one that I think one of you was it. Tyler,
I saw it
Tyler?
I saw it on Instagram. Has like that whole like recommended threads thing now. I saw it
Okay,
on
okay.
there, but
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw Jax and I was like, oh, he's on this one.
Okay.
Wait, let me send it to you. It's less than a minute. Let me send it to you guys so you can watch it, and then you can see.
Who are these random people?
No.
No idea.
There's Kristen Doty.
There's like so many close-ups of Jack's face too.
He looks scary.
No, I see it with Brittany too.
Brittany looks awful.
I feel like it has to just be something about like that itself though, because like I feel like I've seen her on Instagram and stuff like that. She looks fine.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, I follow Brittany. She doesn't look that like plastic.
Yeah.
When does that start?
I wasn't even paying attention.
I didn't look at all.
I think it said this spring. I'm on Bravo right now. Let me see.
Yeah,
We're
it just
gonna have
says
to
coming
watch
this
that, aren't
spring.
we?
Yeah, we're probably gonna watch. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch it probably.
Yeah. At
So
least
give me
for a little bit.
yeah.
We're gonna have to try that out, aren't we?
Well, unfortunately, I think we will. I'm excited to see Kristen and Brittany. You know how Jax is. Like Jax likes to act until like he forgets that the cameras are there and then he turns into himself. Like
Yeah.
So I'm not really excited to see him.
Yeah, me either.
But
We could have done without.
we could have done without. Kristen looks good.
Kristen does look good.
Yeah, she looks happy and stuff. So I'm excited to see Kristen. Excited to see Brittany. I hope she stops with the plastic surgery. She looks absolutely awful. So does Jax. And then everyone else, other than Jasmine, I don't know who anyone else is. So they better bring the drama and get me interested right away, or I'm gonna not want to watch this anymore.
Yeah. Like Jax and Brittany aren't enough to like entice me.
Exactly. And then other than that, Southern Charm ended. This season was just about Taylor and Austin hooking up. They still
What
are
happened
dying.
at the reunion?
So at the reunion, reunion episode 1, they're still denying that they slept with each other.
Oh my god.
Taylor's like basically not wanting to take ownership of what she did and how she's a shitty friend. And like Olivia's pissed and she like walks up to her and calls her a cunt. And
Okay.
I watched the uncensored version on Bravo, so you hear her say "you fucking cunt" or something like that. It was great.
Goddamn.
Like it was the best part of this whole season. There's 9 seasons, 8 seasons, I don't know how many seasons. This whole season, that was the best part of this season. The rest of the reunion, meh, whatever. It wasn't that great. Leva gives nothing. I don't know
didn't
why
she
was
like
there.
out that she slept with like Thomas?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. So Olivia told Taylor like a year ago, I did sleep with Thomas because it was coming. Like someone tried to say, oh, Madison said it in the reunion. I heard that you slept with Thomas Ravenel, and Olivia denied it. Well, after the reunion, she went up to Taylor and told her like, because they were best friends, like, hey, I need to be honest with someone and I need to tell someone something, or I need to say something. And she was like, I need to tell you that I did sleep with Thomas Ravenel when I got out of college. Right when I got out of college, I was 21 or 22 years old, which is disgusting, Thomas. You're fucking gross.
Well, Catherine was like 21.
I know. It's just I don't understand what all
When
these
he got
women.
Catherine pregnant, she was like 22.
And he was like 50.
And he's like
what?
50.
Yeah, what are y'all thinking? Stop it. Stop having sex with him. You're young, like you young women. Like you don't see the way he treated Catherine. Like I feel like she kind of went crazy because of him. Like I
Yeah.
blame that on him.
I'm gonna be honest. I saw like a clip of her after she broke up with Thomas, and she was still Catherine, but she was at least tolerable.
I think she's
Like,
better
when she was with
without him.
Thomas, she was not tolerable. She's why I stopped
Mhm.
watching.
Yeah. She does. I think when she is using, I don't know if she does pills. I don't know if it's an alcohol problem. Like it's never really been like really addressed. But she's court ordered not to be drinking around her kids and stuff like that. So I have a feeling it's drinking. So Catherine, when you can tell when she's drinking, and that's when she's annoying, and like that's when you're like, okay, like I can't like really stick up for you, girl. Like I don't know why you're saying the things you're saying. But for the most part, I really do like Catherine. I think she's really misunderstood. I think she went through a lot when she was younger, and it messed up her brain. And now she's going through it. And Thomas has a lot of money compared to her. Thomas family is very wealthy, and so it sucks that he has better lawyers. He was more established in Charleston. So honestly, he just took total advantage of Catherine, and she's paying for it. And
Yeah,
like her
because didn't they
reputation
break
is.
up while she was pregnant with the second kid?
They weren't even together, or they were barely at the reunion for season 2. She had just had the baby in season 1. On the reunion for season 2, at the end of season
No, she
2,
was pregnant no, she got pregnant at the end of season 1 for sure.
Yeah, but that was with their daughter. And then
Yeah.
after their daughter was born, they broke up, and at the end of whatever season, I think it's season 2, I think the kids are close in age. It's the end of season 2, the end of season 3, they're broken up, and then when you see them at the reunion, Catherine's super pregnant, and Andy's like, "Whose baby is it?" And she's like, "Thomas." And I don't remember if they were back together, like, officially. I think they were, and then they had the baby, and then they started all the custody again. So, yeah, I blame Thomas for everything. He took that woman's children away. I don't think he's a good
He's a pig.
person.
Didn't he get fired from the show because he
raped his
did something with the
maid or
maid?
something. Yeah, he raped his maid.
Yeah.
And they still keep giving him fucking custody of these children. I don't understand, South Carolina courts. What are you thinking?
Well,
And
isn't
it's
he
his
part
money.
of a political family?
Yeah, he is a part of a political family,
So he
so
probably has pull there.
That would do it.
Be for real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas Ravenel is a horrible person. This is not a
Yeah, he's
Thomas
evil.
Ravenel stan podcast. This is a we fucking hate Thomas Ravenel podcast, okay?
Yeah.
And if you stand with that man, please go think about your choices.
You can honestly go away.
Yeah, just go away. So
he's
Thomas,
evil. When you look at him, there's evil in his face.
Yes. Let me see.
I'm a vibe person, and he gives straight demon spawn.
Thomas Ravenel is 62 years old.
Yeah,
Olivia,
and Catherine's what?
She's 30,
31 at this point, probably.
I think, yeah, she's
gross.
our age. And then Olivia's 28 years old. She had sex with Thomas when right when she got out of college. So
yeah,
he
apparently
was
they were family friends or something, and that's why she didn't want anybody to know.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I saw that on Twitter. That's why I was asking, because that's what I saw.
I'm not sure about that, but that would make sense because Olivia's parents know a lot of people. That's how she's friends with Leva and stuff. They've been family friends for a long time because they're well known, but I don't know how. Because their vacation home was in South Carolina. They're from Dallas, so I don't know how how they know everyone, but her family, her parents know a lot of people. But she had sex with him. It was like a one night stand, and she told Taylor, and Taylor's the only person she told, and Taylor fucking said it in the reunion. She was like, "Well, she's like, "Why is everyone getting mad at me? You had sex with Thomas Ravenel." And she was like, "Why would you bring that up?"
It's your
And
friend's ex-boyfriend and Todd.
yes,
Like, it's two completely different scenarios.
yes, it's and she's like, "Why am I getting in trouble for that?" And Olivia's like, "I'm not friends with Catherine. I barely know I didn't know Catherine even when I did sleep with him.
Yeah.
So, I don't like, I didn't know what their relationship status was. I don't know any of that. I was I'm just I was just getting out of college, and she was like, "And you're fucked up for saying that. You're a fucked up person for doing that." And then that's when she called her a cunt. She walked away,
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
is a
"You're a
cunt for
cunt."
that.
Yeah, she's like, "You're a cunt." And everyone's like, "Taylor, what the fuck?" And then,
No, she's a cunt for that. You
yeah,
don't
she
like,
is.
you're a cunt.
Yeah. And she's like, "You're the only person that" oh, and then she was like, "You're the only person I told." And Taylor went, "In the world?" And Olivia went, like,
Oh
like,
my God.
why are you even asking? You're the only like, you look so guilty." And,
Yeah, what a
um,
bitch.
yeah, and Catherine came out and said that she has no bad blood with Olivia. Whatever happened was probably Thomas, like, taking advantage of her. And Thomas even came out and said that Olivia is trying to get famous off of him. Sir, no one
Go away, sir.
no one cares about you. No one gives a fuck about
We
you, Thomas
literally
Ravenel.
don't care about your opinion.
It's so disgusting, so gross.
You sexually assaulted a maid.
Yes. And probably so many other people, and you still get fucking custody of those kids. I don't get it.
That's bullshit.
That is some shit.
Mhm. And Catherine gets supervised visits. She can only have supervised visits.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Wow.
It's because of who his family is. There's no possible fucking way
exactly.
it's that harsh. I know people that are like shitty. Okay? Like, I know some like really shitty people. Like, I'm not gonna put them on blast, but I know some
Uh-huh.
really shitty people. And even they're allowed to have their kids for like overnight visits.
Yeah, I know some, like, pretty shitty people too, and they get, like, their kids on the weekends or something. S
Yeah.
sorry, people, if you're hearing this, but
Yeah,
you're
like
shitty.
sorry that I like said it, but like
You
yeah.
know, you know. You probably know who you are.
Yeah. You're not listening to this, so I have no
Yeah.
like you're like
I don't
you're
think so
not
either.
listening to this.
But Catherine is not that bad. I don't like, unless there's something, like, we really don't see, like, I don't think
Yeah.
she's a terrible person. I think he's a terrible person and
Like even if it's
wants
like
his way.
drugs or like I know people that like drugs and sees their kids on the weekend and has overnight visits.
Mhm.
So it does like that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I get
and
like New Jersey, South Carolina, like I get that's different, but like it makes no sense to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you really like Catherine or Cameron, but I thought she was, like, so mean to Catherine in some of
Yes,
the seasons. Like, I
she
thought she was really, like, a bully, and I really
she was.
didn't enjoy her.
I love her.
Mhm. It made me
She did
not
all of those things.
yeah. I really liked her at first, and then, like, she was just, like, unnecessarily mean. I just couldn't do it. But
Yeah. She 100% did all of those things that Stephanie said.
mhm. But yeah, other than that, this season of Southern Charm was eh, and JT looks like Beans from Even Stevens. He's a new person, and he's super annoying. But he called what's his name out on his shit, Austin out on his shit multiple times. He did it
Good.
very annoyingly, but he still would do it, and so I appreciate that. Um, Next season, let's turn up the drama, guys.
Let's
And I like
not have another season. No, they're gonna
probably
have another one because they have to
yeah.
have the fallout of everything.
Yeah. Oh, and Shep also admitted he's an alcoholic. And
Well, that's good because he is.
yeah,
Even when I
and-
watched the show and he was like friends with Cameron and stuff like that, like she kind of was hinted at the fact that he was an alcoholic.
And Austin and Craig are not friends with him anymore. Apparently, he blacked out the whole weekend of BravoCon and was like a mess, and they don't want to talk to him anymore. So he, like, Andy was like, you said you wanted to like tell everyone like how you're doing, Shep, and he's like, yeah, well, I'm still drinking beer. I'm just not drinking liquor and shots.
It
It's mostly
doesn't
just the
count.
shots. I'm not doing the shots. And Austin and Craig were
Let
like,
him do baby steps, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the protocol for that is, but that seems like
Yeah.
we are still in denial.
yeah, Austin and Shep were like you're not like when you want to get
Austin and
better,
Craig.
we'll talk to you. Yeah, Austin and Craig. I don't know. Did I say Shep?
Yeah.
Austin and Craig were like, when you want to get better, we'll be there for you, but we can't just like keep doing this. Like you're like,
Enabling you.
yeah, it's super unhealthy and scary how you're acting.
Yeah.
So that's probably what's gonna happen in the next season because he's still drinking. And Andy was like, oh, I thought you were gonna say like you're not drinking anymore. Like what the fuck? And then
Andy's like, I thought we talked about this and you told me something different.
yeah. And then at the end, like, you know how like they always give drinks to do a toast? They gave Shep his and they're like, oh Shep, yours is just juice. And Shep looked pissed.
Like I am still drinking.
He was like I can have
And
a
Andy's
little.
like, you're an alcoholic.
Yes.
I'm not going to give alcohol to a guy that had admitted that he's an alcoholic.
Incredible.
That's what Andy said.
Andy looked like he was like kind of like I'm not giving you alcohol.
Again, Andy should not give somebody who said I'm an alcoholic alcohol.
Yeah, he did the right thing.
Yeah. But you can just tell that Andy knew that it bugged Shep. Like Shep like looked like, fuck, why did I say anything? I could be drinking like this Mai Tai with everyone or whatever the fuck they were drinking. Is that all? Yeah, that was like the points of
Okay.
of that season. So we'll see you again next year. Southern Charm probably.
All right, Tyler.
Fun.
What's your motherfucking show time? You told us that it was something, so
Yeah,
I know.
I just told y'all that I was mad.
yeah.
So, how familiar are y'all with the show Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I've seen
Not
it.
that great, but I've seen it.
Okay. Do y'all know the name of the actor who plays Gus, like the owner of the chicken restaurant? Who's
No, but if you said it, I would because he's been in other stuff.
okay. Well, I'm gonna send it in the group chat, and I want y'all to tell me how you think it's said.
What's his name? Guillermo?
Gus.
Oh, Gus. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, Gustavo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have if you said that name. I wouldn't have known. But he's been in other stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know if I want to try because of the whole Dotton thing.
just try. You may be closer than you think.
Giancarlo?
Well, no, the like whole name, both first and last.
Oh, well, the last name is Esposito.
Okay, Stephanie.
Like that's a
I
fact.
don't know how to say it, Giancarlo Esposito.
Apparently, he says his name Giancarlo Esposito, and I got
I could
so
see
mad whenever I heard that.
I could see Giancarlo.
Yeah,
could
that
see
part makes
Giancarlo.
sense. It's the last
What does
name.
he say his last name?
Esposito.
That's how he
I'm
pronounces
almost
it?
positive that's
Yeah.
Esposito for everybody else.
Yes, it should be. Esposito. That's how you say it. But no, to him, it's apparently Esposito.
When he speaks Spanish, is that how he pronounces it too? Like
What's your name and where you from? Giancarlo Esposito from Italia.
Esposito.
Like
Someone-
there he kind of gives like a Spanish like part in it, but
Mhm.
the one that I saw, like it was just like an interview where he like introduces himself and like it does not sound like that at all. Let me find it. I'll send it to y'all.
Okay, so is that what it was? Just how he says his last name?
Yeah, it just bothered the fuck out of me. Like I kind of calmed down a little bit, but like just
well-
initially after hearing it, I was just like,
For
Like, I
everybody
get-
else, is Esposito.
Yeah.
I see Giancarlo.
Yeah, that part makes sense. It's just the way he says his last name bothers me.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, I think I was just listening to a podcast, and like they got on the subject of that, and like one guy said like, yeah, no, he says Esposito. I'm like, I'm
Esposito.
sorry. And so like I just immediately like went to Google and was like Giancarlo Esposito, like saying his Esposito, saying his name. And first Google video, sure enough, he says it that way. I'm like, that's disgusting. I hate this.
That's horrible.
And I was just irrationally angry about it for like an hour. And that's my motherfucking share time.
That's your motherfucking share time.
Love it.
So let's get into girls. And let's try and go through it faster. We're working on it, guys. This is the first time we've done a podcast like this. We're figuring it out.
We appreciate you for staying around.
Yeah, we're figuring out how to get through it quicker. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, so season 4 of Girls starts out where Hannah goes off to grad school, but the first episode is her getting ready to leave.
Mhm.
Adam's a working actor. That's what I'm gonna call that. Commercials and stuff.
Yeah, I got a commercial.
Like CSI kind of shows.
Yeah. So they're kind of half broken up, but they're not really. On the inside thing that I watch, because I watch all the insides, she said that like they do this thing where couples have a fight and they probably shouldn't be together, but they still are.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
That's exactly what that is.
Marnie is with Desi, and Desi is still with Clementine. Because Marnie's a fucking bitch.
And Desi is eating, the first thing you see is Desi eating Marnie's ass.
Oh, I know.
like in this season.
I know. I was just gonna go right over that.
Had to mention it.
Shoshanna is graduating, and we finally get to meet her parents, who absolutely fucking hate each other. But she finally graduates late, but she graduates. Jessa's boss blames her for like her almost death, like doesn't tell her daughter, who's the chick from Poker Face, and she's also in American Pie.
Natasha.
Yeah.
I don't know her last name.
Yes, her. Basically says that Jessa and her like did drugs and things went wrong. Not that she tried to kill herself. And she goes off to Connecticut, and I don't know if Jessa exactly ruins her life or not. Can we say that she ruined Beatty's life?
Think so.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because
she kind of did. She got her the drugs. She helped her. She called for help.
Yeah.
But Beatty now has to go live in Connecticut, and she hates that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's still like, they still ended things on good terms. Like like they're still friends. It was just kind of like, yeah, this kind of sucks.
But did she ruin her life?
Beatty invited Jessa to hang out. Beatty's the one that like was saying like, I want to do this, and Jessa, like, I would say probably like would say no most of the time, but Beatty was like, I'm a grown woman. I can do what I want to do. This, like, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't think Jessa did.
Yeah.
She was asking for it.
I wrote down that Jessa didn't ruin someone's life for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beatty kind of ruined her own life, and Jessa just held her hand.
Yeah.
Marnie and Desi are performing at that random jazz brunch, and Clementine shows up and apologizes to Marnie, and Marnie accepts her apology. And I was like, when I watch that every single time, I go, that's some fucking shit.
That's a slap in the face.
Yep.
And she accepts and thanks her for her apology.
And kind of like half-ass apologized too, didn't she?
Yeah, like very half-assed. Like I didn't even write
Yeah.
down that she apologized because did she?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of like sorry I made you feel that way kind of thing. It's
Yeah,
like, well, fuck
exactly.
you.
Like sorry you felt that way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Which she had every
Ugh.
reason to. Intuition.
And
Mhm.
like you know what you're doing, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So Jess is also avoiding hanging out with Hannah, and Hannah has no idea why. But she feels like she's being abandoned by Hannah. They have a fight in the bathroom, and Jess kind of passively aggressively says it. And I think that this starts the downfall of Jessa being like one of the worst people in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say that this is exactly when she starts the spiral into the worst person in existence.
Fucking
Yeah.
horrible person.
Mhm.
Considering how horrible Marnie is,
Mhm.
um,
Jessa tops it.
Jessa tops it.
She found a way.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, what the fuck was Ray wearing when he showed up to the jazz brunch? He hadn't brushed his hair. He was in some sweatshirt and like sweat shorts, and like everybody else is like just dressed up for brunch, and he's just unkept. And I was like, I have never, as many times as I've seen this, I've never picked up on what he's wearing.
Oh my gosh, I want to see.
It's very Ray.
Oh, it was so funny. Shoshanna then apologizes to him and like actually really apologizes to him. About like manipulating him and trying to get back with him and everything that she did to him and stuff like that. And this is Shoshanna being the best human on the show, and it's Shoshanna and Ray's amazing friendship that gets started
Mhm.
Yeah.
because they're better friends than they were in a relationship. I'm gonna say it.
Definitely so.
Yeah.
Like the
I just
reason
love
I
their
love Ray and
relationship.
Shoshana is because of their friendship, not their relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I love how they are with each other. Like, I think they get along so well. They have a great, I guess, friendship relationship, and so made me want them to be together more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Marnie has a whole breakdown because children. And they suck and the child said it to their face. Like that's honestly they suck. Honestly, they
Yeah, they
suck.
do.
They are terrible. Their songs are terrible. Like that's the point.
Yeah.
And the kid was like, "You suck." I love how Adam refuses to say goodbye and is pretending to be asleep. And Marnie's the one who's helping her pack the suitcase, and Marnie helps her leave, and Marnie's the one who's crying as she's leaving. And on the inside, Lena pretty much says that like Adam has pretty positive feelings about Hannah leaving. Like he's pretty excited that she's leaving.
Yeah.
You can tell.
This kind of gives him a reason to break up.
Yep. Yeah, they were already on like a slow breakup path as it is.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense for him to be happy about it finally being over.
Yeah,
They weren't
exactly.
meant to be.
Yeah.
They were not. They were not meant to be. At all.
But they haven't said they broke up.
Right. They just they're gonna talk, they're gonna give each other space.
Yeah.
And that's how we leave episode 1. Episode 2 is Hannah in Iowa. And the thing that I love about Hannah is she had a perfectly fine apartment for $250. Perfectly fine. And then decides to get a whole house for $800. Why?
For one person.
For one person.
Yep.
And turns out she's in a dead zone. That's why it was so cheap.
Yeah.
I forgot that she was basically cut off from everybody when she was in Iowa because she was in the dead zone. So until Elias just shows up, which happens later in the episode, because he just wanted out of New York, that's basically like the only contact that she has really with anybody. The there was a bat in the house, which is hilarious.
Yes.
And she
She
has
sleeps
to
in the
bike
bathroom.
everywhere, which yeah. She's like in the bathroom. She must hate biking everywhere.
Oh yeah.
She wrote a nonfiction piece for a fiction program, and she can't take criticism whatsoever.
No.
Nope.
She was also in her pajamas for the entire episode, including at the bar with the people from grad school.
I did not even notice that.
Yes. I noticed it when she got to the payphone, when she calls her parents, and she says, I wrote this down because I was like, I am on the fucking floor and I don't even care. When she's like, when you move to a new place, is it normal to think about suicide for the first time, like, ever?
I think so.
Her parents are so like, don't even care what she's saying. Like, she's like trying to like be alarming, and her parents are like, "We'll call you after this game of Scrabble." Like,
And
I thought it was-
Shoshanna and Jessa not knowing how collect calls work.
Yeah.
Hello?
I think it's Hannah.
I think this is Hannah. I don't know. It's really quick. So Elijah comes and they go to an undergrad rager. And that's how we leave them at the end of the episode. They're living their peak days in undergrad again, partying their faces off.
Amazing.
And that's what we're doing in Iowa.
Mhm.
So episode 3 happens, and Ray is Marnie's like only friend in New York. That's why she's hanging out with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're the mistress," and she says, "Not if we end up together," and that's the fucking problem. That is the problem.
That line killed me.
I know. Not if we end up together. And Ray looked at her like, "Did you say that?" So she decides to have sex with him because that's what she does. Shoshana gets a job and turns it down.
With Ann
Thinking
Taylor
that there would be more jobs down the road, which there isn't. Marnie and Desi are trying to get a record deal, and he's all affectionate with her. And then he's like, "Oh, we aren't together. I have a girlfriend, Clementine." And after this, she kind of gives him an ultimatum and says, like, like, "I can't keep doing this." And Desi's like, "You don't want me to pick because I'm going to pick her." And says, like, "I'm going to hurt you and it's going to be okay."
Such a piece of
And
shit.
that's what I took from that conversation.
Yeah.
Jessa and Adam are in AA together all like, and they're basically best friends, even though she told Hannah that they don't like speak. Jessa then, when they're like hanging out, basically pees in the middle of the street, rips up the citation, gets arrested. Adam gets in the middle, and then he gets arrested because Jessa's a life ruiner.
Yep.
Ray bails him out, and Adam's like, "I'm done with you, Jessa. Like, I thought it was like because you were not like you were high all the time, but now you're sober and you're still doing this dumb shit." And she's like, "Please be my friend because I don't have anybody." Hannah's just partying with Elijah, can't take criticism, having a terrible time in Iowa.
All her classmates fucking hate her.
All her classmates fucking hate her.
Which I would too.
I would
honestly,
hate
the way
her
she
as a
acts.
classmate too.
Yeah.
She wrote a nonfiction piece for a fiction essay. She didn't follow directions. How am I supposed to grade this? Like, how am I supposed to give her criticism when she wrote about a personal experience?
And the fact that
She
she's
made the
such a
character Anna.
Yeah, like, and they were like, "I'm uncomfortable." Yeah. So that's kind of what we're all doing. We're all being pieces of shit.
As usual.
Yeah. Episode 4, Shoshana can't get another job.
Nope.
We actually see Jessa, Shoshana, and Marnie hanging out for the first time all season together. Hannah can't write anything because she's not a fiction writer.
Yeah.
She just hasn't figured that out. This is when Ray starts getting pissed about the stoplight on his block. And he's like screaming and yelling at them to stop. And Shoshanna was like, "Oh, I can hang out with you for the day." And we get to see them just be friends and hang out. They
Which
go
I love.
shopping.
Yeah.
It was just, I love them. They're just so cute.
They are.
Yep.
This is when Hannah writes a letter to the class
And puts it in their cubbies.
and puts it all in their cubby. And she was like, "I apologize." And they're like, "This wasn't an apology." And Hannah's professor after class was like, "Maybe this isn't the right place for you." And she thought that she was getting kicked out and said, "I was so happy." So she calls her parents and says, like, "I'm about to leave grad school." And they were like, "Yeah, do it. Like, it's fine." At the very end, Desi tells Marnie that he broke up with Clementine, and as like you're starting to like, as he starts talking, you realize that like, I think she broke up with you.
Yeah. She fell in love with another, or like wanted to have sex with another man. Like,
Yeah, so broke up with him. And she decided to ignore it because she won. And Hannah comes back to New York, and Adam is with Mimi Rose in their apartment, and all of her stuff is gone.
Yep.
And we are introduced to Mimi Rose.
Mimi Rose Howard.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna be for real. We took an intermission. I almost passed out because I was so fucking hungry. I got some stale cookies.
We all just took some time to eat.
Yeah, so if you didn't take an intermission, now would be a perfect time to pause us and go take an intermission, because that's what we quite literally just did. So we are now after our intermission, we're at episode 5. Season 4. Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Yep.
Okay, so this is where Hannah has her sit in and refuses to leave the apartment. And Adam has no idea what the fuck to do. Shoshanna is the first one who shows up, because of course she would be.
Yep.
Love her
Jessa
attitude
comes
towards Adam and Mimi Rose whenever she like
Oh, I know.
when Shoshanna arrives, like that's a true friend.
Yeah. it was
She's
so
in like
good.
that suit.
Yes.
Jessa then comes, and Jessa basically is like, "Oh, I set him up." And Hannah's like, "What do you mean you set him up?" And she knew what she was doing.
Yep.
That's a horrible friend. That's a horrible person.
Horrible. She said it was because she wanted to be with Ace. Like, that comes out later in the episode or the next episode or something. We're just gonna say it now.
Yeah.
And I think it was to get back at Hannah.
I think so too. I don't think it has anything to do with Ace.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Ace. It was to get back at Hannah for going to Iowa.
And Jessa has to act like a cool girl and like make it seem like it's not about Hannah when it's obviously about Hannah. And and good for Hannah for doing something that's good for her. And Jessa's really codependent on Hannah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Because Hannah's her only really person that cares about her.
Yeah.
So Marnie finally shows up and brings food, which gets her out of the room. And pretty much tells her, "You gotta get the fuck out." And was actually really kind of nice about it, and also told her what needed to be said.
Yeah.
And Hannah then goes to pack up all of her stuff, and Adam shows up, and we finally get a real breakup of them, and Adam saying, like, "I was happy you left, like, we weren't working anymore." And Adam's gonna move out of the apartment, and she's gonna move back all of her stuff back in a couple days. And she goes to the storage unit where all of her stuff is in. And in the inside the episode, Lena said something that was like that, like the director had said, like, "This is the place where all love stories go to die."
Storage unit?
Yeah, that storage unit with the stuff in it. Yeah, that was pretty shitty.
Mhm.
Yeah. Honestly, like probably one of like the healthiest moments of the whole show. Though.
Yeah.
Like everybody like not being toxic for like a good amount of time.
Yeah.
I think she
Oh.
deserved the apartment.
Yeah, she does
Oh, yeah.
deserve the apartment.
Yeah.
It was her apartment.
Yeah.
Inside the episode, so it turns out they what they said was that at first she was like going around to all of her friends' houses and like talking about the situation or whatever. And then they realized like it would be so much funnier if she just refused to leave.
And it was funny.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
It was so funny. So episode 6 comes in. Marnie and Desi would have sex to them singing.
Yep.
Like they were like literally having sex to their songs.
Love
like
that
how
for them.
gross.
Is it bad that that happened? And I was just kind of like, never thought about that before. I'm like, I have
like what
songs.
the fuck? It's weird. It's
Like,
weird.
My music.
I'm gonna try it out. I'll report back.
It's fucking weird. Hannah gets a teaching job at the end.
Mhm.
Mimi Rose had an abortion and didn't tell Adam.
Which is her right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be for real. I literally wrote down like she was always gonna get the abortion, so like what did it matter? She told you before or after.
Yeah.
Like she was
And-
always gonna get it.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate how much of a reaction he gets. Like he needs to like talk about it. Like
Yeah.
she didn't want it. She didn't
Yeah.
want that baby.
Yeah.
Like nothing you said would ever change that. Stop it.
Yeah. Sure, you would have
Yeah.
given your input, but it's not your choice at the end of the day. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like she told you. Like it's not like she kept it a secret. It's not like it was a secret. It was just she found out and she took care of it and she
It's
was going to do
done.
that one way or another. Like it was always going to be like that's always what the outcome is going to be. So it didn't exactly matter.
Yeah.
So I think that she was perfectly fine. I think that she was absolutely in the right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Lena said that she like inside the episode like she said most TV shows like like pose abortion as almost like a regret or like some like sorrow is behind it or whatever.
Yeah.
And she wanted to do something so far in the other direction. Because she's like, I want like the stigma behind abortion to like go away. Which is like, this show came out how long ago and like we're dealing with what shit now?
Yeah.
Nothing ever changes.
Like fuck.
Mimi Rose's reaction, she was like really like, I did it, like, oh well.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have sex, can't run for 10 days.
Can't take
Like,
a bath.
Can't take a bath. And then
Going
Adam
down
to
the
call
list.
Yeah. And then Adam like to call her evil because like that's
Yeah.
her reaction is so gross. Like I really
It was
hated
really
that.
gross.
Yeah.
Because she did nothing wrong and he needed to
Yeah.
calm the fuck down.
Mhm.
That's her body.
Um,
Like, oof, that makes
Yeah.
me so mad when men have that reaction.
Yeah.
I know.
That's fine. I agree.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he was out here with us like, you didn't need to tell me.
Yeah.
This is also where Ray shows how corrupt our government that we deal with is. He goes to that meeting for the council people about the stoplight, and they're like, "Oh, we'll pick this up next week," and he's like, "Excuse me, motherfucker."
He stayed that whole meeting for them to say next time.
And he's like, "No, no."
But Mark Maron finally showed up. Made me happy.
So episode 7, we get introduced to Fran. He's a history teacher at a teaching job at Hannah's teaching job.
Fran.
Fran
sucks.
Mhm.
Fran. I used to love Fran.
What?
let's talk about our toxic traits.
What did you like about him?
I thought he was such a nice guy.
Maybe at first, but
Yeah. Like once like we get toward like the end of the season and like they break up and stuff like that, like that whole like Fran, like the next season Fran, I don't like that Fran, but this season
Yeah.
Fran, I like this Fran.
yeah.
So I could see last season Fran and this Fran, like something evil comes out of him, like just I just tell he doesn't like Hannah. He doesn't like Hannah.
He doesn't.
Yeah. No.
Like
That's a
I don't.
fact.
Yeah, and so that like him, he doesn't
She's
like Hannah.
there.
Yeah, and he doesn't like. I appreciate that he doesn't entertain her shit. He kind of just looks at her
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is wrong with her? I appreciate that about him, but I don't like him.
He doesn't accept her though at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So why are you trying to be with this girl?
Yeah.
I see. I hear it.
I can't say anything because I'm still like Jessa's still my favorite. So
Okay.
Jessa?
yeah, I like
Oh.
Jessa.
You said it.
She's my type.
Okay.
I have to hire my
So Hannah and Fran go on a date. How he asked her out on a date was kind of weird. He's like, "Oh, we should go get dinner," and she was like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, it's very presumptive.
Yeah. So then they go to Mimi Rose's art show, and Hannah doesn't even know why she's there. Hannah doesn't know why she brought her date there. Nobody knows why Hannah brought her date there, and the audience also doesn't know why Hannah did what she did. But she brought Fran to the art show. And that turned out to be a giant fuckery.
Mhm.
This is when Ace gets introduced, and he's kind of the worst fucking person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Zachary Quinto who plays Ace.
Mhm.
So Mimi Rose and Hannah go run off in a cab together, and the cab driver hits a person. Did I ever tell you that happened to Kristen in Amsterdam?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna tell Kristen's story. So we were in Amsterdam, and she had to go. She left something somewhere, and she went to go get it. And she was just gonna take the Uber there and back. And she's in the Uber, and we're texting the whole time because like we split up, but we were texting the whole time because it was just me and her.
Yeah.
And she goes, "My fucking Uber just hit a person." I said, "Shut the fuck up." She goes, "I have to tell you about it when I get back." So she goes in, she gets the thing, she comes back out, she comes back to the hotel, and like the hotel's like 10 blocks away. Like it's really not far from like where she had to go get this thing. So she gets back and she goes, "I have to show you what happened." She literally acted out what happened because she was like, it was straight out of a fucking movie, Laura. I mean, like hit it, rolled over it, fell to the ground. So then like they were like, oh my god, right? The guy just gets up, gets back on his bike, and like goes on his merry fucking way. Like doesn't say anything, doesn't anything, just fucking goes. And Kristen is like, okay, so this literally like that happened to Kristen. So
my god.
Love that.
so this one has the cops show up and everybody. So Mimi Rose and Hannah are running around trying to find a bathroom, and they go into the convenience store, and Mimi Rose and her are getting a popsicle, and she's like, can I like use your bathroom?" And he's like, "It's employees only." And she's like, "But I'm buying all this stuff. Like we just had an accident. Can I just use your bathroom?" No. So then they don't pay for the popsicle, and turns out the line that this is a protest, turns out she like ad-libbed that. The actress, like she just felt like it was just what she would say.
That's
That
awesome.
is exactly what Mimi Rose would say.
Yeah.
Like just had to make everything like art is what she said. Like just so anyway, so they get talking in the laundromat, and she's like, "Do you still have feelings for Adam?" And like all this stuff. And she's like, "I don't know." And Mimi Rose was kind of like, "Well, if you wanted to, I would like kind of let you have him." And Hannah's like, what the fuck? So, Mimi Rose is like, well, you gave up on Adam and writing, and she's like, I didn't give up on anything, and like kind of tells Mimi Rose off. But Mimi Rose was right. Like, she gave up on writing. She couldn't do it in Iowa, and so she gave up. And like, that's not like, you're not a fiction writer. That's fine.
Yeah.
Write memoirs, write essays.
Yep.
Yeah, and like, she can't wrap her head around it. So like, she did give up on it.
I don't get it. I don't get why she doesn't want to write, or like why it's not
Look
clicking
at my
to her.
little thing that came down. Hold on. I wonder when that happened.
I don't
I
know.
didn't even know. I have no idea.
Okay. Sorry, but you guys can't see all like my tissues and stuff that are back there. This shit's gross. You don't need to see all that. Jessa then out loud says about how she was gonna set Mimi Rose and Adam up and basically trap Ace.
Yeah.
Episode 8. Hannah's dad tells her mom he's gay. And he's been thinking it a long time, and she's like, shut the fuck up. This is when Hannah's inappropriate to a 15-year-old student, which is Maud Apatow, Judd Apatow's daughter.
Yep.
And basically goes skipping school with her to go get a piercing.
And then chickens out.
And then chickens out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get
After seeing how painful it was for the other girl, she's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Shoshanna goes on a date with Scott, who was a guy that she like tried to get a date from. And she basically was sexting him on the date, like, because she took Jessa's advice and like just started sexting him like right to his face. And he was like, what the fuck? And the guy like just totally shrugged it off.
Yeah. He thought she was funny.
Hannah's mom makes out with her friend's husband because turns out they had an affair last summer. And can tell that they're not happy in their relationship, and it's because he's gay.
Yeah. What a shit show.
Yeah. And Hannah's mom at the end tells Hannah that her dad's gay. And Marnie and Desi get engaged.
Oh my
Because that's how you make up from a fight.
Yeah. At a coffee shop.
Yep.
At a coffee shop. And they like totally meant it.
Yep.
So episode 9, Hannah's dad visits her in New York. She's again inappropriate with Cleo because she's the student, Maud Apatow, because she's crazy.
Yeah.
She tells Hannah to go home and learn. Hannah's boss tells her to go home and learn boundaries with the students. Ace and Jessa are on a walk and make sure to walk by Mimi Rose's house so they can just stop by. Ray is doing his election to become the council guy. He's having his campaign party. And Marnie says, like, let's not tell anybody that we're engaged, and then turns around and tells Ray, and then later on in the party turns around and tells everybody at the party.
On a microphone, on stage.
On a microphone. Because she's fucking Marnie.
Yep.
Elijah's Hannah's dad's friend.
And
he gets him to tell about the guy in college.
Oh, yes. And Elijah tells Hannah, I told you your dad was gay. And Hannah's like, you never told me that.
Yeah, I know. Like, she forgot the whole conversation that we all remember.
I love it.
Your dad is gay.
Your dad is gay. No!
Take it back. So at Mimi Rose's and Adam's place, so Mimi Rose and Ace are basically like talking. Mimi Rose is like, I'm kind of jealous of this Ace and Jessa thing. And so they basically talk, and Mimi Rose is like, well, I kind of want Ace back, and Ace is like, well, I kind of want Mimi Rose back, and it's like this whole fucking weird shit, and Jessa's like, what the fuck? Yeah. And at the end, Mimi Rose goes, I choose no one, and it was like, what the fuck?
And then Ace tells Jessa, "Okay, I'm ready to be with you."
Yeah, and Jessa's like, oh my god. And Jessa and Adam basically leave and get the fuck out of there because that's what you have to do at that point.
Yeah.
And Ray wins his councilman position and uses his speech to basically talk to Marnie and say how much he loves her and will be there for her.
Still don't get it. I don't fucking
Yeah.
get it.
Me either. So now we have the finale of season 4. Hannah was having a panic attack and Fran was really nice to her, which I think is a very sharp contrast into what happens later on. So I just want to note that.
Yeah. This is like the last bit of him being a good guy. So
right. So Shoshanna's boss, Abigail, shows up, which we love. We love her. I love Abigail.
Love it. Me too.
she's so great.
Isn't she? Caroline is having her baby. It's a month and a half early.
Yep.
Breach. And she is determined to have a home birth. Marnie and Desi get a spot in the showcase to try and get a record deal. Desi asks Ray what his problem is, and Ray says, I fucking hate you right to your face.
Love it.
Just love that energy.
Mhm.
Hannah called Adam to get control of his sister, and that's never going to work. And Adam came over and was like, what the fuck is going on? Shoshana gets offered a job by Abigail, but it's to go to Japan. And Scott's like, don't go to Japan, stay here in New York, you can work for me, whatever. And Hermie, who is Ray's boss at Grumpy's, is like, fuck that, leave.
I'm glad she did.
Me
Me too.
Shoshana's like, what, like 23 at this point? Like,
yeah.
let her go to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it like needed to be said.
Mm-hmm.
So Desi ends up not showing to the showcase, and Marnie does it by herself, and actually probably did better
Yeah.
being alone.
Mm-hmm.
Caroline will not leave. Her baby is Breach. And Jessa tells Laird, you need to fucking get her out of the bathtub. And he's like, I can't. And she's like, you're going to get her out of the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
And he does, in fact, get her out of the bathtub. And Jessa, Hannah, Adam, and her carry Caroline to the hospital to have the baby. And then the baby's name is like Jessa Hannah Bluebell Poem something.
Sackler something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember Laird's last name.
Yeah. Oh, it was like, oh my god. Jessa decides that she's going to go back to school to be a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Shoshana is going off to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Adam asks Hannah to be together again, and she says no.
Smart move.
Right? And then we get a 6-month jump to the first time that we see the girls in winter. And we see Hannah and Fran are together.
Yes.
So that's season 4. I love season 4.
I love
Yeah.
season 4 too. I like
It was-
season 5 more.
Season 4 is definitely like a good return to like form from the first season. Like 2 and
Yeah.
3 were good, but it wasn't as
It wasn't the same.
as good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think 4 is one of my favorite seasons. So season 5, episode 1 is Marnie's wedding, which is where Marnie's makeup, which is Stephanie's background, comes in.
Is it
Um,
Bebe? It's BB.
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 Hannah was incredibly inappropriate for asking if like letting Fran hang out. I'm like,
Yep.
no.
Yep.
I wrote this down because this is when it happens. And so I literally wrote down, when did Adam start smoking, you might ask? I'll tell you when he decided he wanted to make out with Jessa at Marnie's wedding. Like a fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That is when that man decided to start smoking.
Yep.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that, Tyler?
that
I remember
all
watching
of
it for the
season
first
5
time.
hurt. Yeah, it all hurt to watch. Just seeing them
Yeah.
like starting to come together and
Ugh.
stuff like that. I'm like, no, don't you fucking dare.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Well, I remember watching the kiss for the first time and just like being like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I remember being utterly shocked by it. Like, didn't see it coming,
Yeah.
didn't think that it would actually happen. Like, thought they were sober friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, what? Like, how did that happen? Like, I watched it while it was coming out, and so I didn't
Mhm.
remember like everything that happened like at the end of season 4, but I felt like Jessa and Adam just like cooking up at Marnie's wedding, like
I know.
started making out. I'm like, there's no way. There's no fucking way they're doing this right now. Jessa wouldn't do that.
Yes.
Jessa's a
Oh.
human.
Oh, it's like the worst.
Yeah.
So we find out that Desi's actually walked away from 7 other weddings. He's literally proposed and gotten this close 7 other times.
He gave Marnie Clementine's engagement ring. That
Yes.
engagement ring was meant for
Yes.
Clementine.
Yes, and Fran tells Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what you should do. Don't tell
And-
Hannah.
Yeah.
I
If you
hate
want
And
to
Desi
Hannah
keep it a
wants to
secret,
tell-
don't tell Hannah.
Yeah. And Hannah wants to tell Marnie now.
Yeah. And then
I
it starts
hate 'em.
pouring rain, and she's like, well, I don't tell her because she's going to kill herself. I thought that was so funny. Well, now I don't need to tell her because she's going to kill herself.
That's so funny.
We have Marnie's fucking horrible makeup. I love that, like, Shoshanna also walks in and has, like, her makeup done, and she's like, I think it's a little heavy.
You don't think it's a little heavy? I love it.
Oh, it's so funny.
And then sorry.
Go ahead.
I remember when I first watched it, and they finally like you just see like Marnie like putting her dress on like all nice and like and her flower crown that her mom hates, and then she turns around and reveals her face. And the makeup artist, like everyone's like, it's a little heavy, and the makeup artist like, you guys are a bunch of bitches.
And it's like, her face. That's what she did. And it's not because Marnie's a bitch. Like, you did it to Shoshanna, too. Like, it's just... Oh, my God. So, basically, Marnie says to Hannah, like, you have to support me in this. And Hannah's like, okay. I would like to say that I was the maid of honor in a wedding.
Mhm.
And I knew she shouldn't get married. She's never going to listen to this, so I don't give a fuck. We don't talk anymore. And so she was going to get married, and I just knew it wasn't good. Like, she was like 21.
Mhm.
It was really dumb. Like, just, she shouldn't have done it.
Mhm.
And so we were about to walk down the aisle, and I kind of said to her, like, if you want to leave, like, we can leave. And she's like, oh, we're fine. And I was like, okay. And so we
You sure about that?
went, and she got married. And they got divorced. I don't even think they made it 2 years.
Oh my, of course.
And so I feel Hannah wanting to say something because I'm the person who did say something. And I'm not going to lie that, like, I probably shouldn't have said anything. Like, I wasn't the greatest person when I was younger. Like, I'm not I'm not going to, deny that.
Yeah.
Like, mistakes were made on my part.
Yeah. Probably not the
Okay,
best
like,
time to do it, but
Yeah, like, I'm not a fucking saint, okay? Like, but I still stand behind saying something because I was right.
I think Hannah should have said something. I don't know if Marnie would have cared. I think Marnie just wanted to get married.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's what my friend did.
Just
Like,
wanted
that
to get
exact thing.
married.
Like, she was going to do that no matter what because that's what she wanted to do, even if it was a good or a bad idea.
Yeah.
Which was a bad idea. So I just want to say that, like, I wouldn't go back and change that. Like, I would still say something to my friend. Maybe I would pick
Mhm.
a different time. Maybe I would pick a different place. Maybe I would think about it a little bit better. But I would probably still say something
Yeah.
because that's what like a real friend does.
Did Hannah
And like,
tell Marnie?
no, she never exactly said it out loud because Marnie told her don't.
Yeah.
I do love that Jessa came to save the day with like the raincoats and like fixed her makeup and stuff like that. Like, leave it to Jessa to like be the person to do that for Marnie.
And like
Yep.
the hair and everything.
Right.
The makeup was so funny.
Oh my gosh. When Ray was telling Desi, like about like the wedding when he went to go and like whatever, it was definitely Ray like saying like don't get married, and Desi was like, I'm gonna go get married now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they
Desi's
went and got
fucking
married
idiot.
like fucking idiots.
Wearing ponchos.
Episode 2 is Fran's roommate starts going crazy because he stopped taking his meds. So he like moves in with Hannah. Caroline is struggling in this episode.
Yeah.
And it shows. And Adam kind of sees it. Adam confronts Jessa about the kiss, and Jessa says like nothing happened, nothing can happen, we're just friends, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, this episode makes me so mad.
What?
This episode makes me so mad. Like her
I
at the beginning,
know.
like, no, this can't be anything, and how the frickin' ends. Like, ugh.
I know. I know. So basically, Adam's goal is to basically just wear her down. Hannah's dad calls her while she's at work, and has to leave to go help her dad. And turns out her dad had sex with a guy in New York and left his wallet, and Hannah had to go get him. And Hannah's dad explains this guy in like all of these ways. And the guy is old as shit, and he has a tiny little dog, and he's incredibly nice.
Yep.
Ray has a coffee shop that opens up across the street. He's incredibly offensive to them because he's Ray. And Adam and Jessa, after like they have the whole talk, they go off and decide that they're going to be friends, and they hang out for the day, and it's fucking weird. And then they decide that they're going to masturbate next to each other
and look at each other.
and look at each other.
Well, they weren't supposed to.
They weren't supposed to.
Oh my god. That was so intimate that it pissed me. Like, I was getting so angry inside for Hannah. Hannah doesn't even know Hannah doesn't even know this happened, but like that's still like so intimate and so just gross. Like they're both
it was so gross.
Yeah.
Hate them.
Elijah also meets Dill.
Is Dill supposed to be like Anderson Cooper?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he's like supposed to like I think he's supposed to be like an Anderson Cooper.
Okay.
I love Dill. I know exactly what happens with Dill each and every time, and I am still ready to get my heart broken by Dill every single time.
Yeah, he was such a nice guy.
Right?
Just, commitment issues. But
right? Like I love Dill. I will always love
him.
Yeah.
I love Dill. So episode 3 is Shoshanna in Japan, which is one of my favorite episodes ever.
Me too.
I love this episode of them in Japan. I love Japan Shoshanna.
Me too.
Same.
She's perfect in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I even love her like bleach blonde hair.
Me too. Her roots all grown out.
At the same time that this is going on, Fran's ex-girlfriend, Fran has a bunch of his like ex-girlfriend's nudes. Because he thinks that like porn is like gross and all this stuff. So he has a bunch of his ex-girlfriend's nudes. And Hannah's pissed about it, and I also would be pissed about it.
I would be so pissed.
I would be so fucking mad. It would, honestly, I might have actually left him at that moment.
Yeah. I doubt she's listening to this. So a very good friend of mine, that happened to her. She moved across the country for this guy, and the first week she's there, she's going through his iPad and finds pictures, and he thinks she's gonna stay. He thought she would stay after she found that. Yeah, she left him.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Did
We
she
never
come back
heard of
home or
him.
did she stay out there?
She went back home, and her brother, like, she took as much stuff as she could, and her brother, like, lived in that place at the time, and he picked up, like, a box of her stuff, like, of things that she really, really wanted, but she said everything else he could just throw away. She didn't want anything to do with him.
Wow.
Mhm.
God damn.
That's some fucking shit. So I
Yeah.
would fucking be
Yeah.
pissed.
Mhm.
Yep.
Your friend had every right to fucking leave.
Mhm.
And he's just like, oh, it's fun. And then fucking Elijah and Ray help her take a bunch of nude photos, and at the end she deletes all of the ex-girlfriend's news and replaces them with her. I would have left. I wouldn't have even done it. I would have left.
He wouldn't have ever seen a picture of, like,
Right.
and then he doesn't like Hannah's pictures because she acts funny, or like she acts goofy in her pictures. She can't, like, take a
I
sexy
know.
picture.
And it's like, oh my god.
You have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, showing why he does not like Hannah.
Right.
I don't know why he's
Yeah.
in this relationship.
Very true. So Shoshanna's running around Japan, and we have Yoshi, her love interest, who turns out he's apparently like this like big heartthrob in Japan, and like everywhere that they went, like people would like surround because they were like filming with him, and they had no idea until they were there filming with him that he was like this big deal.
That's awesome.
Isn't it? Shoshanna ends up getting fired because her job is downsizing, but she doesn't want to leave Japan. She then goes out and parties in Japan after she lost her job because fuck it. And she runs into Yoshi and his friends, and they somehow end up at that fetish bar.
Yeah, that was weird.
And Shoshanna dresses up as a nurse and like does some weird shit. Turns out that actually happened to Lena's friend and her when they went to like Amsterdam or something like that. And like she was like, I knew I had to tell the story.
That's awesome.
Because it was weird. Shoshana ends up staying and leaves Scott at the airport, the guy that told her not to leave in the first place. That's like her long distance boyfriend. Oh, and Adam and gets a commercial, and Jessa's all excited. She was acting high. I'm just gonna say it. She's
dumb.
what?
I said she's acting dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep saying that they're just friends, and then she keeps like being alone with him. So episode 4 is Marnie and Desi come back from their honeymoon, and Desi is ripping down walls. Jessa is going to AA meetings for women only, so she can't like be with Adam. And I would like to say that 4 episodes in, Jessa is an asshole and doing horrible things, but she is trying to resist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam is really wearing her down, and like as horrible as Jessa is, like she is trying to resist.
Yeah. I don't really blame her for everything. Like she does end up doing some shitty stuff, but it is very much Adam just constantly being there. Like he's done the whole fucking show pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, Adam doesn't owe Hannah anything, but Jessa's her best friend.
Yeah.
So that's why I do blame Jessa.
Yeah. She's not like entirely innocent. It's just
right.
I don't blame her for like starting everything.
Well, what I said was, I think if Jessa had been honest with Hannah and said to Hannah, I'm like really liking Adam, we have a lot in common, we go to the AA meetings together, like I think I want to like pursue something, Hannah would have been pissed. Yeah. Right? Like Hannah was still going to act like Hannah, and Hannah was going to be Hannah. But I would have not been as mad at Jessa if she was just honest with Hannah about it. Yeah. Said it outright. You can still, you know what I mean? Like, if that's what you want to go do, still go do it. But like, I think it was like the whole like how secretive it was that really pisses me off.
Yeah, like she just broke up a friendship just to be with him pretty much.
Yeah.
Like that's where it
Yeah.
ends up. And that's where I was
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah. And I do blame Adam for a lot of it because she told you
wouldn't
know a
take no.
lot, back off.
Yeah.
And I get in his mind where he's like, oh, well, she has feelings for me and she's basically saying it, so I'm just going to keep doing that because that's what I want. He doesn't owe anything to Hannah.
Yeah.
It's not like they were friends before they started dating.
Yeah.
So it's really fucking shitty.
Yeah.
Elijah and Dill do something. I don't have a full note here.
They go on like a great first date or something.
Okay,
like
that's
that.
what it was. Okay, okay. And Hannah starts talking about how much Fran annoys her all the way back here.
Yeah.
And Jessa at the very end picks a fight with Hannah because it makes it easier for her to date Adam, like guilt-free.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was. That was, I'm just gonna break up with you so I can go be with Adam.
Yeah.
Because then I won't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Even though you still feel guilty.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is kind of stupid. With Hannah's mom and like the retreat thing.
Yeah.
I kind of like hate
a filler episode.
Yeah, like I kind of hate it. I do love Abigail and Shoshanna running around in Japan.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
And Shoshanna working at a cat cafe.
Yeah. And Shoshanna kind of realizing that she should leave and go back home. Jessa, this was the other thing. So Jessa ends up going to like meet her sister, and at first she doesn't say anything to Adam, but then she like drops it to Adam that she's going there. So Adam was like, "Oh, I'll come," or whatever. So basically, it was a dinner where Jessa was asking her sister for money for school because she wanted to go back to school to be a therapist, and the grandmother cut her off because of her pill addiction and like not staying in rehab and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I said pill addiction, but it was fucking heroin.
Yeah.
Opioids.
There's a lot of stuff.
Right. Right. An opioid. So basically I think that Jessa set that whole thing up. I think Jessa knew that her sister wasn't going to give her the money. She dropped it to him subtly so that way it would be his idea to come to dinner. Then they would sit there at dinner. She would get denied the money and Adam would pay for school. I think that was all a master plan from Jessa.
Yeah. Sounds like something she'd do.
It does sound like something she would do.
Yeah, like, I think that was whole. I think the plan was to get Adam to pay for school, and that was how she was going to do it.
Jessa's very smart, so I can see her pulling something like that.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
I think that's what she did. So I always like to say that because she definitely did that on purpose. I didn't get to watch the inside the episode for this, so I don't know what Lena has to say about any of it. Because I tried to watch the inside part like 3 times, and it just kept putting me to the next episode. So I was like, fuck it. I was like, I'm going to the next episode, fuck it. So episode 6, Marnie and Charlie's episode. In the very beginning of the episode, when she's laying in the bed with Desi, there's like half walls everywhere. Like he never finished the walls.
There's one, I think it's like in a past episode though, when they first were fighting about it. There's one shelf and it's literally
the
like
shelf.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you gonna do with this little fucking shelf? And he's like, it's a custom shelf for my Raspberry. And she's like, oh yeah, it's for you. The wall's for you. Yeah, that was funny. But this was the Marnie and Charlie episode. And basically Marnie runs away from Desi and she's walking down the street and she sees Charlie and they talk, and turns out Charlie's dad killed himself, and that's why like he broke up with Marnie. I want to say that at the end of the episode it's revealed that he's on drugs, and once you know that and you watch the episode, you see the drugs everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, something was off about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, you're like, "Something's weird about you, something's off," and then, like, once you find out it's drugs, you see it everywhere.
Mhm.
So he basically keeps going to the bathroom, he has, like, garbage bags on the fucking windows, it's like, "Oh god." Um, so basically Marnie goes to a party with him where he sells drugs to people, those people think that she's a prostitute, she takes $600 from them, pretending to be a prostitute, and basically rob them.
Mhm.
Um, they go off and have dinner and hang out, and she goes back to Charlie's. They have sex. She goes to the bathroom, comes back, finds his needles, and
Like,
Charlie goes, "I'm what are?" She goes, "What are these?" And he goes, "I'm diabetic." He said, "I'm diabetic."
And then went right back to sleep.
Right? He said, "I'm diabetic." Um, Desi ended up waiting all night for Marnie and was on the stairs when Marnie got back and was like, "Where the fuck have you been?" And Marnie said, like, "I knew I shouldn't have married you when I did. I just didn't want to fail again." And they pretty much break up. Another very healthy moment, actually.
Yeah.
Not so much from Desi, but
No.
from Marnie.
Yeah.
Marnie grew
Um,
up.
Yeah.
so I actually had a fun fact from the Inside episode, and I told you guys about it that I've been, like, really excited to tell you about this. So Lena watched some movie, and it was basically about, like, these two people being heroin addicts in New York.
Mhm.
And she loved it so much that she wanted to, like, write her own version of that.
Hmm.
So she writes this whole episode around Charlie and Marnie
Mhm.
and doesn't tell the actor who plays Charlie. Basically decides that she has to write this and then show it to him to get him to say yes to come back and
Mm.
do this episode. Because she knew that he wasn't going to say yes to, like, a "Where's Charlie now?" Like, "Oh, let's have, like, a little, like, oh, thing." She knew that he wasn't gonna say yes to that, so she had to show him what she was trying to, like, tell, and because he saw the script and he said yes.
Mhm.
So she
Him
wrote the whole episode without him ever saying yes.
Mhm. The actor who plays Charlie, him and Lena had, like, a falling out or something because he didn't like the direction that Charlie was going in the show. So that's why
Okay.
he wasn't in a few seasons, and so I guess that, like, they had to show, like, something really good, like, a really good script to get him to come back.
Yeah, 'cause that's how she made it sound in, like, the thing, like, she
Mhm.
basically made it sound like he wasn't ever gonna come back, and that's why she had to, like, show him the episode for him to
Yeah.
say yes. And it had nothing to do with Lena.
Mhm. This is one of my
Interesting.
favorite episodes too. I like
Is it
how
really?
yeah, because I like how Charlie and this is, like, finally Charlie and Marnie are, like, done. And, like, you have, like, a conclusion of them, and I feel like that made Marnie grow up really fast, like, she finally got the conclusion, and she could just move on with her life, stop this, like, chaotic thing she has going on with Desi.
Yeah. It was a really good episode.
It
Mhm,
was a very good episode.
mhm.
I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites just because I don't really like Marnie.
I liked this episode a lot, even
No,
with Marnie.
no, but,
Um
like, now that, like, you say it like that, like, it is a really good episode,
Mhm,
like, it is a really good episode.
and I love the big I love the fight at the beginning with Desi, and he's like, "Open your
She
heart
and
to
him.
me, Bella." Yeah, and she's like, "It's open!" It's my favorite part.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Mhm.
Um, so episode 7 is I don't know what it is. It's definitely, like, a filler thing. I have, like, random
Yeah.
notes because it's like, what goes together? Nothing.
So she, uh, I don't know why, like, she's having a one-on-one meeting with her boss, but she, like, is basically getting in trouble, and she opens up her legs to
Yeah.
show her vagina, like
Yeah.
And it
And
works.
Fran is pissed.
yeah.
Fran is pissed. Um, and basically they all then go to Adam's play, and Hannah realizes that Jessa and Adam are dating. Like, she figures it
Mhm.
out. Like, she looks at him and she just knows.
They
Yeah.
have the eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and, at the end of the episode, they're all leaving, and Fran's, like, talking to her, and she goes and, like, asks them, like, a question, and, like, they kinda walk off together. and she starts having like a panic attack.
Mhm.
And she like kind of like swats Fran away, and Fran is like all pissed off and stuff. And it's like she's in the middle of a panic attack. Calm down.
I know you can't tell something's going on. Shut the fuck up. Like, stop.
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
about you, Fran.
yeah, like calm down. Like, oh my god, it's like let her have a minute.
But when Jessa's walking away with her, and she keeps like looking back and being all awkward, like fucking own it. You're gonna do it. Own it. Why
I
are
know.
you?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know. Marnie doesn't get a call that their song is going to be in an episode of Grey's Anatomy. And Elijah finds out that Dill's nice to a lot of guys, not just him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he like wants to end it and leave. So he leaves.
Yeah. Elijah leaves him.
Yeah.
And he comes
Dill,
back and falls asleep.
when they're like hooking
Dill
up.
like falls asleep on him. Episode 8 is Shoshanna's back in New York and she hates it. Fran and Hannah get a camper and they're gonna go on a road trip, and at a rest area, Hannah locks herself in a bathroom and pretty much says, I want to break up with you. He says, well, let me at least take you back, and she said, absolutely the fuck not. And so
Why?
calls Marnie, who picks up and says, I'm busy, I can't.
Mhm.
Jessa ignores the call, and Ray ends up picking Hannah up, where she ends up giving him a blowjob while he's driving, and they wreck the van.
His brand new van.
His brand new van. They're on the side of the road, and she ends up getting hitchhiked from a guy who's actually Guillermo in Weeds. Like, that's how I know
Yep.
the guy.
Mhm.
That's whenever I texted y'all and was just like, this whole season is just like people I know from other shows.
I know.
I love
know.
Weeds.
I love Weeds. I love
Such a great
Weeds.
show.
Me too.
It's so good. I got Keenan into Weeds. Like, when we first started dating, I got him to watch
Nice.
it, and he's like, I love the show.
I got Nick to watch it too. I love it.
Yeah, it's so good. Turns out that he's a really nice guy, and I think in the inside the episode, Lena said, like, I wanted it to be like Girls is the one show where you actually get into a person's car and turn with a gun, and it like turns out okay.
Yeah.
At the same time that all of that's happening, Caroline leaves the baby in Laird. They find a note, and she basically is suffering from like major postpartum depression and has to leave.
Mhm.
Kind of suicidal.
Mhm.
Kind of not fun. And Laird then freaks out and leaves Adam with the baby. Adam then gets Jessa to help out, and that is how Adam and Jessa have a baby for a while.
I love when they're looking through Caroline's Google history, and it's like so many random things, like an actor's IMDb.
Yeah.
Like this such a random. I was like Wesley Snipes IMDb or something.
Yeah. It was like Wesley Snipes.
It's so funny. And I love that Jessa Hannah Bluebell Home is wearing the same hat that Laird wears.
Yeah.
Yes. I know.
So cute.
I know.
Oh, what do they keep calling her? Sample?
Oh yeah,
Sample.
Sample.
Adam goes, we're really going with that nickname. And then like in the letter, she's like, you would sample.
They call her like Samps and stuff. Too.
Yeah. Little Samps. So episode 9, Fran and Hannah are at Hannah's apartment, and he's dramatic and she's not. Marnie has a weird sex dream about Ray and tells Elijah, because she just tells Elijah everything.
Yeah.
Shoshanna shows up and decides that she's going to help Ray with marketing because the coffee shop is across the street. And she's going to help them out, him and Hermie, with it. Hannah quits her job of teaching, and she runs into the writer friend from season 1 who had the book.
Callie.
And they go on their adventure together, and they get super high. They tell each other all these insecurities. They have like a real like fun moment actually. And when I think the funniest thing is when they're leaving, and Adam and Jessa are walking in, and
Start
what's her
laughing.
name again? Yeah, and
Callie.
she just starts laughing, and it's not even Hannah. Like she just starts laughing, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I can't, I can't."
Love Tally. Like I love that she like actually wanted to know about
She
Hannah's
hugged her.
life.
She was like, "That's the
Yeah.
saddest thing I've ever heard," and like gave her like that huge hug, and it was like, oh.
Yeah. And then she even asked like why aren't you writing? Like you have such an interesting life. I have nothing to write about. Like
Yeah.
you have so much to write about. You live life.
Yep.
And I think that she's really the one that gets her back into writing, because in the
I
next
think so,
episode,
too.
she does all what she does that we'll get to, and I think it's really her that like pushes her to do it. So the finale of 5, Marnie and Desi are going on tour, and they're going to bring Ray and Clement, his girlfriend, who's Lisa Bonet.
Candace.
Yeah.
No,
I barely even
Candace
wrote
with
about
a
her in the
T.
last episode because I was like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, Marnie and Ray get together at the end of the last episode. That's why they're going to go off together.
I don't fucking get it. I don't get Marnie and Ray. Like this
I don't get Marnie and Ray.
fucking makes me so mad.
Yeah.
I don't like Marnie and Ray. Like I think they're like
don't.
one of the worst couples.
It makes absolutely no fucking sense. Ugh.
Elijah and Hannah's dad. I wrote some notes. So Hannah's dad's here.
Yeah.
Laird.
They waited outside her apartment. Like both of their parents are there.
Right. Laird comes back, and he's fine. He just needed a minute.
Understandable.
Get some underwear. He visited with his friend Jimmy.
Right. And Jessa and Adam have their fight because Adam has a terrible temper and Jessa's a button pusher.
Mm-hmm.
And so they basically destroy the apartment and fight. And Jess is pissed because Adam wouldn't let her not date him and ruined the friendship between Hannah and Jessa. And Jessa feels guilty about that. So you broke up your friendship with her so you wouldn't feel guilty about dating Adam. And now you feel guilty about the friendship that ended between you and Hannah. And that's what she's dealing with. And Adam's like, can we just like fucking move on? And it's like, she kind of can't.
Yeah.
That was her best friend. Like, you can't just do that.
Yeah.
Right. And so they have their whole fucking fight. They end up having sex at the end because that's what they do. I don't know why. Hannah ends up going and writing for the Moth, which is like a thing that they do in New York. It's like a reading, and like you can win, and it gets you like things. So she went to go get the ending to the story and dropped off a fruit basket and heard the fight between Jessa and Adam. And basically she tells the story, and I love the story. Like I love the story that she tells. Like I love it. It's so good. And like leave it to that guy to be like, don't bring your notes. You'll get disqualified, and like took him from her. Like I think that was so fun. So it turns out all those people that were at the Moth and like performed and like all those people, turns out that they're all like previous winners from the Moth, like in real life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And like performed like some of their stuff that like they've done.
I love that.
Yeah. I wrote that down because I thought that was really cute. So basically she reads the thing and it's really good, and Hannah basically says like that she heard them fighting and she realizes that she can move on. And is like running at the end, which is stupid. Shoshana and Hermie and Ray, we can hold on to our hearts that they have a beautiful time. Desi's being Desi on tour. Tad went to go see the guy that he left his wallet. Tad is his dad.
Yes.
I love that. Hannah says, why would I want to hang out with you guys? You just told me you were gay, and then you look like Pat Benatar to her mom.
Yeah. Also, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think that Adam and Jessa are sober?
They don't seem sober.
Right?
I don't know.
Like, are they even going to AA meetings anymore?
I don't know. They don't really like talk about what they're
Right.
doing.
I think it's supposed to be vague and you're not supposed to know. Like, I think that's part of the story.
Mhm.
But I think that is like a question. Like, are they
Yeah.
sober or not?
I feel like Jessa was actually pretty serious about it. Adam, I mean, we never
But they're like
really saw
toxic
him
for
do
each other.
anything.
They're
Yeah,
like toxic, you know?
yeah.
So, like, did they bring them back, like, each other into this?
Yeah, just force themselves to relapse pretty much.
Yeah. And, like, is, like, this apartment, like, destruction, like, a symbolization of, like, how far their lives have destructed because they were together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So, like, that's what I always think whenever I see that. I'm like, I don't think that they are sober.
Mm-mm. I wish that they would show like their faces when they see the basket from Hannah when they finally open
I
the door.
know.
Yeah.
They never show that. You never see it. But you know that they saw it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but Elijah and Dill broke up in the last episode, and Dill basically told him that he wants someone who has ambition.
Yeah, I totally skipped over all that. I hate that part because I love Dylan. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Elijah basically like pours his whole heart out to him
Mm-hmm.
and says like, "I love you. I want to be with you. Like, please be with me. Like, these people don't care about you like I do," which is true. Everything that he
Yeah.
says is probably true. And Dill said, "You're right. That's what I need." And Elijah just like, "Just not with me." And he said, "Yeah, like I need somebody with like ambition, like goals."
Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I know. I
And
know. It hurt.
At the end of the last episode, Elijah and Laureen, Hannah's mom, are like
Drunk.
drunk and saying, and he's like saying, I'm gonna die and I have like accomplished nothing and I have so much life to live and I still am not gonna accomplish anything. And that made me feel bad for him.
Yeah.
That was so funny though. He's like, I'm like
Yeah.
3 drinks away from trying to sleep with you. And she's like, apparently you're my type.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah. I did hate that ending where she's just like running and it just
And
does
like the
like
still
the
frame on
80s
her face.
freeze frame. Yeah.
It's horrible.
It could have
It's
ended so
up
much
there
better.
with the running on the FaceTime.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're almost done. Season 6. We get to release our text messages.
I'm still excited to hear those.
Yeah. Just because it's so funny. Like genuinely, like the conversation is like hilarious.
Can't wait. I'm so excited for the world to see.
I know. So next week is season 6. I think it's 10 episodes again though.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to see how it ends because I don't really like season 6. There's like some funny moments, like we were talking about the cabin earlier. Like there's some like funny things that happen, but it's not really.
It's not a good season.
No. I think that if they decided that they weren't going to end it, it probably would have been better. But you can tell the whole season that they were just trying to end it and they wanted to end it a certain way and they just didn't have enough time to do it. But not in the same Game of Thrones type of way.
Yeah, well, Game of Thrones had plenty of time to do it. They
just
willingly
decided.
like chopped their season in half. So
Yeah.
because they just wanted to go work on Star Wars.
They ruined Star Wars.
Well, they didn't get anything in Star Wars.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that
they were supposed to get their own trilogy, but then they rushed Game of Thrones and everybody got mad. So they're like, yeah, you're not getting any movies now.
Yeah,
So
good.
they just fucked themselves over. It was great.
Good. Fuck those two. I always said that they're not the ones with the talent because the only time the show was like ever good is when it literally mimicked the book.
Yeah.
Like you can like all the actors, like you can like the book guy, George R.R. Martin or whatever, but like those two guys are fucking whack.
Yeah, no, they suck.
Yeah. I will go down in history saying Game of Thrones is not as good as everybody thinks it is. I think if you give it like 4 or 5 more years, you will see it move down the list of greatest TV shows because people are going to start realizing that it's not good.
I feel like it already did.
Yeah, I was a huge Game of Thrones fan, and the last season really fucking did it for me, and I really don't think it's a good show. Also, Walking Dead, I'm gonna throw that one out there because these story writers are horrible.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
like, they
Walking Dead, I
ruined the
think if they
shows.
ended at like a reasonable time, it might have been okay, but like they decided that they wanted to go on like 12 seasons.
It was too
Yeah.
much.
And there's only so many like ways that you can walk around with a bunch of dead zombies before it gets enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're almost done. Also next week we're gonna have the premiere of Bachelor with Joey.
I love you, Joey. If you
I was talking about
listening.
that at my internship. I was sitting in class and I was talking about it. And everybody was like looking at me. I was like, I'm so excited for Joey.
I love you, Joey.
And my boss force was like, Laura is special. And he said, out of like all the people that say like the most out of pocket shit, like I'm definitely number one, which is a fact. Like he says the most out of pocket shit. And then he's like, a close second is definitely you. And I was like, well, we're both Aries, so I think that says a lot. All right, guys. So thank you so much for listening. Follow us at Hot Garbage on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also follow us on YouTube, where we will be posting videos of our podcasts. They're gonna show up whenever they show up. You know,
Yeah.
that's how we're gonna handle the YouTube. They're gonna show up whenever they show up. You'll have our episodes that you can listen still, and then the YouTube videos will show up.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much again for listening, and as always, stay trashy.